Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video because we did get an expected Wednesday TWAB, as we like to call them. We've gotten a bunch of these over the last month because they are detailing a bunch of different major changes that are coming to Season of the Deep. Some of these leaked, like all the exotic changes, including, I'm guessing, a lot of these. But things have changed. I don't know why would they show all these changes at a summit in the first place? I don't know. Anyway, that is where we are, and today is the weapon changes preview after we saw the exotic armor preview last week. And a lot of things are getting buffs. I think I saw 17 weapon buffs, so this is in addition to the longer list of exotics that is getting buffed per class, and obviously weapons can be used by any class. So, well, other than those swords, but you know what I mean. Anyway, it's also more than that, and there's things like weapon reticles, full auto melee, a lot of stuff. Okay. Good day, Chris Proctor, Senior Design Lead here with another weapons balance blog. We shipped the 705 mid-season balance update a few weeks back. That was largely PvP focused and was mainly made up of changes we've been testing in Season 21 pulled forward. As a result, this set of changes is focused on systemic changes in PvE. Oh, thank God. For Season 21, we've got a substantial number of changes to hipfire reticles, various changes to a bunch of exotic weapons, and a few other bits and pieces. Let's get into it. We've seen this before, right? The different reticles for different exotics that show different charges and things. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that right now. But, alright. Hipfire reticles and FOV. The two reticle elements on most weapons illustrate the current codes for auto-aim and accuracy using moving circles and crosshairs. These are clamped in size on screen to avoid growing too large or too small, hence blocking the very center of the screen or overlapping too much of your weapon and the action in front of you. At default FOV, these elements move as your auto-aim and accuracy change, but at high FOV, they typically can't shrink enough to show the current angles, resulting in them being fairly static. We've rebuilt the reticles for the following weapon types so they move more visibly at high FOV, while still conveying the current state of the weapon accurately. Fusion rifle, hand cannon, sidearm, trace rifle. We plan to update other weapon reticles in a similar way in a future release. Shotgun reticles also now scale with FOV, such that the reticle will closely match the pellet spread regardless of your selected FOV. Alright, that is a thing that is happening. Charge meters. Fusion rifle charge and sword guard energy are critical aspects of these weapons, which until now is relying on cues built into the weapon's visuals or audio. We've updated their hipfire reticles to include this information as well. Fusion rifles now have a charge meter under the reticle. Sword reticles now show the current sword guard energy. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Experimental ADS reticle. Our hipfire reticles are built with technology that lets them scale with weapon auto-aim and accuracy, but our aimed-out sights reticles are typically hand-built for each specific weapon and don't necessarily show this information. We've been experimenting with an approach that keeps the hand-built aesthetics of a weapon's sight or scope, but replaces the center crosshair or red dot with a variant of the hipfire reticle. We decided we'd get this into your hands to see how it feels in the live game before looking into this type of reticle further. Shayura's now is an aimed-out sight reticle that reacts to the weapon's accuracy and auto-aim. Ties into red reticle, meaning this will change color when an enemy that's within this weapon's engagement range is under the reticle. Oh, so it's a red reticle, so it turns red when there's somewhere to aim. Wait, okay, so is this only on Shayura's Wrath? They put it on one gun, the Trials gun. That's a weirdly specific test, but I guess we'll see how it goes. Interesting. All right, well, I guess we'll get that out of the vault. Is that in PvE also, or PvP? I guess it's in both. Custom exotic weapon reticles. Plenty of exotics. Weapons have perks with states or counts that are important information for players. We've added reticle elements to show these to several exotics. Note that exotic swords and fusion rifles also benefit from the above charge meter and sword meter elements. Note that some exotic weapons already convey their state very clearly and weren't included in this pass. These specific additions to exotic weapons are charge meter for Devil's Ruin, Salvation's Grip, and Grand Overture. Salvation's Grip. Perk counter shows pips for perked shots, Quicksilver Storm Grenades, Ace of Spades, Memento Mori, Lumina Noble Rounds, Traveler's Chosen, Gathering Light. Perk Progress Meter shows perk buildup. The Manticore. Perk active shows when the exotic perk is active. Hot Moon, Aegis, Teraba, Touch of Malice, Cryosthesia, Trinity Ghoul. charge meter, and perk counter. Vex Mythic class. We'll keep an eye out for opportunities for custom reticle work on other exotic weapons. Inspection screen improvements. Oh, can you flip them around now? Oh my god, this is going to be so good for thumbnails. And I guess for artists and stuff. With the release of Seas of the Deep, we're doing an overhaul of the way we showcase weapons and other items in the inspection screen with some highly requested improvements. You can rotate them the way you would a spare or piece of armor, added support for ambient VFX to play for weapons that have them. This applies to your inventory and also when expecting ornaments in the Eververse store. These psych improvements have had compounding benefits, enabling us to allow you to rotate ships and preview their contrails. I said they should do that. Ben said they were going to look into it, and they are doing it. That is very important, because half the time you're seeing a ship from behind. I don't care about the contrails, but like the engine formation in the back is important. We've also removed depth of field blur from our weapon, ship, and armor previews to see all the angles of your gear better. Alright, I am going to watch this video. Oh my god, you can spin it around! This is some Outriders shit. I think you could do that in Outriders. That's very cool. Oh, and ships too? I love this. This is so good. I didn't know this was coming. I like that a lot. Okay. Full auto melee. Knowing how popular the full auto, now called full auto firing, setting wells, you can implement a matching full auto melee that allows you to continue melee, attacking with your fist, charge melee, sword glaive, or roaming super melee by holding it down. Okay. Weapon archetypes. Wait, is this its own section? Why is this so big? And this is not as big. Okay. Bows. Tyranny of Heaven stats were always weirdly low, and we were touching these weapons anyway, so opted to update its stats when we were in there. This is a preview of things to come, yes. Submachine guns. Aggressive submachine guns have surged in PvP. They need to be brought back into ban. We're doing that in a way that keeps them viable, reducing both base and crit damage a little, requiring higher precision to reach their optimal TTK. Reduce base damage 15 to 14, increase precision hit multiplier from 1.45 to 1.5. The Immortal is such a stat monster that no other aggressive SMG can beat. We've brought down its range while allowing it to continue to excel in other areas. Reduce base range by 10. Okay, so there's finally the Immortal nerf after, what, 3 months of Immortal domination. Alright, sniper rifles are a very safe option. We don't want to make them dominant. I don't think you have to worry about that in PvE. But there's some room to bring their damage up to improve their feel in PvE. Note that rapid-fire sniper rifles also got a large reserves bumps and reduced recoil in the Season 20 mid-season balance update. Yeah, I've really used those. We'll keep an eye on this and may bring them up a little more in the future if this doesn't move the needle. Increase PvE damage by 10%. Yeah, they already announced that they were going to do this, so that's not, like, super shocking. I don't know if that is going to, quote-unquote, move the needle. I would guess not, but we'll see. Maybe we can make some use out of that airborne whisper of the worm accuracy now. Izanagi's Burden Hone Edge does not receive this buff. All other exotic snipers do receive this buff. Scout rifles. Long arm was inadvertently receiving the damage bonus versus minors for exotics. I wonder why that felt so good. So that was dealing 40% increased damage to minions. Okay. No one ever complained about that. They should have just left that. I mean, I guess I know why they didn't, but that's a bummer. Okay. Exotic weapons. A lot of stuff. Okay. Eyes of Tomorrow's multi-targeted missile volley and adaptive ordnance exotic traits suggest it should be used to kill groups of enemies, but the rocket launcher ammo economy doesn't really allow for that. What if smart use of the weapon against groups refunded ammo? Killing 4 targets with a missile volley will refund 1 ammo. That's cool. That's good. Graviton Lance's performance feels exotic, but it was easy to miss out on the full damage of a burst because so much of it was backloaded. We felt tuning a Revision Zero's heavy rounds 2 bursts would be a good fit. Increase RPM from 257 to 300. Reduce burst delay by 20%. Now matches Revision Zero's Hake heavy rounds rate of fire. Rebalance damage per shot. Increase first shot from 9.5 to 19. Crit 15.7 to 31. That's a big boost. Decrease second shot damage from 35 to 25. Crit 58 to 42. So I don't know if this will feel like Revision Zero, which is a freaking monster now, but that seems like it'll be better. The way Revision Zero tubers feels is very good. So I'm curious to use this. They didn't give it like volatile or anything though. Jade Rabbit is a strong PvP scout rifle, but it was difficult to keep track of the state of the exotic perk. Oh man, the hiccups, I'm sorry. Refunding a single ammo just wasn't impressive enough for an exotic. These changes make the slate cleaner and provide more reward for precision. Added buff text to show when Fate of All Fools, increased body shot damage is active, quickly hitting 3 critical hits in a row, refunds 3 shots instead of 1. Okay, I guess that's still more of a PvP thing, but something. Flying around the mana core is some silly fun. We want it to be more rewarding, mobile, and sustainable. With this change, you should be able to remain airborne for longer and be safer while doing so. Increased catalyst damage resistance here from 3 to 4. Increased movement speed during hang time. Activated the catalyst perk through an airborne kill. Sustained damage following an airborne kill. Now partially refills the magazine. I already like this thing, especially on Gyrfalcon Hunter. So that's good. I love more Manticore buffs. I know nobody really likes that, but I do. Lupita's cap on noble rounds is 5. We'll work out exotic weapon reticles. We opted to match Ace's Memento Mori. Count to improve consistency between the two and give Lupita a little bit of a buff at the same time. Increase noble from 5 to 6. Okay. Heart Shadow wasn't hitting the fantasy we wanted to, so we made it easier to exploit the exotic perks. Damage increase now activates quicker when invisible. Quarter second instead of 1 second. Heart Shadow now weakens upon dealing any damage while the damage increase is active. That's better. We love Worldline Zero's performance. Do you? And with all the attention we've been giving swords, we wanted to spend some time really differentiating it from a certain perk on glowing sword dares. The sprinting heavy attack can now be chained into itself once. Sword guard energy cost from sprinting heavy attack reduced from 100 to 50%. Decreased damage from an individual sprinting heavy attack by 25% to compensate. Does this mean it's going to be good for speedrunning again? I'm not sure. Sweet Business performance is a lot of fun, but we felt we could really plus up its fun factor and strength by adding some explosions. Now fires explosive rounds every 20 shots. Fewer shots when fully spun up. Okay, that's I remember people were always saying that Seraphis +1 should get explosive rounds. That's pretty fun too. I like that. I want to see how that feels. Legend of Acreus hits arcs hard already, dealing some of the highest damage per shot in game, but its ammo reserves run out quickly, and you have to be right on top of enemies to use it. Increase total ammo from 12 to 16, increase maximum projectile distance from 9 to 12. This has already gotten like 4 buffs, so we'll see if that does anything. Tommy's matchbook is all about burning yourself. We've updated to let you burn others as well. Catalyst updated. While overheated, sustained fire scorches your target. Every 5 shots applies 14 plus 7 with Ember Scorch stacks. So you can ignite things by just shooting them a lot. That's pretty good. Well overheated. I want to try that. We'll see. No Time to Explain's drone wouldn't work against barrier champion shields when it had an anti-barrier effect. We fixed that, and it now works with Feeding Frenzy. Okay. Resolved an issue where the feedback for Feeding Frenzy would always play when the player spawned and then never again. Okay. Skyburners Solar 3.0 pass turned out to be too conservative, so we brought it up to be more competitive with other scorching options. Increased scorch stacks from 3 to 5 and 5 to 10 with Ember of Ashes. Does it do that on the explosion thingamajig? Yeah, okay. Salvation's Grip, performance and utility, is entertaining and situationally useful. But as a heavy weapon, it really needs to do some damage without compromising on its identity. We've rebuilt its full functionality using bowling as an inspiration. I'm sorry, what? Reworked to have 2 firing modes. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, okay. Charged Shot creates a pattern of stasis crystals where the number of crystals is no longer dependent on charge time. Uncharged Shot is a normal grenade launcher shot which does more damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Add a new perk that reloads the magazine from reserves quickly when you shatter at least 3 crystals with the Uncharged Shot. Okay, so this is fire to make a bunch of crystals, shoot them with a normal grenade launcher shot, and they blow up and nuke everything in an AoE, and you reload the whole magazine? Do you reload the whole thing? Okay, that sounds okay, honestly. That's pretty good. I mean, better than just making a giant crystal that just sits there. Okay, I can appreciate that. Will this no longer be the worst exotic weapon? Maybe. It could be up there. Alright, Bad Juju has always been hard to control, and it turns out this is because it was originally set up to use auto rifle recoil. Okay, so now it won't do that anymore. It'll be a pulse rifle. Fighting Lion's damage against red bar spiked to massive levels due to a recent bug. Oh, boo. We've addressed this, but it still receives the 40% damage bonus. I wonder if they fixed the coding of the strike boss from a red bar. Well, it'll do less damage anyway. That's sad. Okay. Not surprising, but sad. Thunderlord has surged in popularity with its catalyst and machine gun buff, but a ship with a bug that allowed lightning strikes at higher frequency than intended against divinity bubbles. Oh, I didn't know that. We've addressed that. Regular crits are not affected by this change. Fixed an issue in hits against a divinity bubble, counting as 2 crits instead of 1. Winter Bite's initial version included an exploitable damage bug, which is fixed. The impact damage has been removed and redistributed to the detonation damage. Self-damage scaling has been tuned to account for increased damage of the detonation. Alright. Perk buffs. Fragile Focus is fairly potent, but the perk deactivator was unforgiving. Bonus lasts until shield pop returns when the shield regenerates to 100. Yeah, that's better. Thresh, Demolitionist, and Pugilist have always granted energy on shotgun, fusion, and sniper kills, but Glaives missed out on that bonus until now. Glaives Demolitionist didn't work? Is that real? I thought it did work. That's weird. Grants increased energy to glaive projectile kills. The same as these, so maybe it was less. Alright. Reconstruction has been simplified under the hood so we can replace the perk on more weapons without exceeding perk budgets. This results in a slight change to the timing of the perk where the initial timer and cooldown timer between reloads has been unified. Base perk 4 seconds, enhanced perk 3.5. Shoot to loot is situationally useful, but we've been looking for a good way to allow players to interact with orbs of power at a distance, and this was the obvious option. Updated to pick up orbs of power. Yeah, they told us about this. Currently, this only works on direct hits. The ability for orbs to be picked up with weapon detonations will be added in a future patch. So I think this means that the shoot to loot's kinetic tremors, kinetic weapons aren't going to pick up orbs with the blast hits, and this wouldn't work on like Firefly or Dragonfly or whatever. Yeah, so that'll be added later. We're in the process of redesigning how zoom interacts with damage falloff. Yeah, they said that before. Weapons with that weapon type standard zoom value would be unaffected by this change, but weapons with lower than standard zoom value will have their damage fallout buffed, and weapons with higher standard zoom values will have their damage falloff reduced. This will only apply to damage falloff. To avoid negatively impacting weapon field, bonuses to aim assist, accuracy, recoil will still apply. We will also be making a pass on the base damage falloff ranges for several types of weapons to make sure that weapon types that previously relied on having above standard zoom to be competitive and are not left behind. There's also a big sword update coming with the goal of making guarding substantially more viable. Well, that'll pair well with the new strongholds, I guess. In the more distant future, working on an update to Sparrows that will allow players to use their favorites instead of always on time without touching AOT itself. Are they going to bring everything up to AOT? I heard that's like technically extremely hard, but that's good. Okay, so it's a lot of stuff in here. There's a couple of these that seem fun. I like the Manticore buffs, personally. I don't know if the sword ones are anything. Luminous Cap going to 1 more does not seem that crazy. This is fun. Sweet Business with explosive rounds sounds hilarious, and especially it takes fewer shots when fully spun up. That seems like that could be hilarious. Tommy's Matchbook with decent Scorch Stack application seems like it could be good. I don't know if Skybirders, if that's going to do anything. Somehow Salvation's Grip sounds like one of the best upgrades here. It sounds very fun. I don't know if it's like... It seems like grenade launchering with extra steps, but I guess it will also interact with all the stasis crystal bonus things and stasis builds. So, but still, it's a heavy slot. Like that is hard to justify in a lot of situations. So we'll see. And then these are nerfs. I don't know. I don't really see many of these as impactful as some of the exotic armor ones. Like they feel good. Like I don't think anything is like bad here necessarily. It just I don't know how transformative a lot of these will be, and if they will take like underused things and make them good. I don't know. Not too many are jumping out at me there, but anyway, we will see how this all feels in practice, combined with the exotic armor perks or exotic armor buffs and the sandbox buffs and stuff like that. So lots to go through, and then we have a normal TWAB tomorrow, and it's probably going to be pretty big itself, considering it's the last one before actual launch here. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.